Good morning, good morning, good morning. So I am in Texas and super excited to be here because I'm going to the Build event this week. And then I get to go to another Build event next week. So what's going on? Tell me some things about where people are jumping on here.
I'm tired today. That's all I got.
You're tired.
I am tired. I didn't get any sleep last night.
Ashley, I've got 1 hour sleep. I was just telling Susan that I could not sleep. And then I guess Jean couldn't sleep because I heard the TV going in the living room. And I finally fell asleep like at 10 of 6. And next thing you knew, it was time to get up. So it was one of those sleepless nights. I had a lot on my mind. I could not stop my brain from going.
At 6 a.m. I gave up.
You couldn't sleep?
I got maybe about 3 hours, but more than you did.
I literally think I got an hour. I did 5 meditations all night long. Nothing worked. And then, you know, I'm not going to take a Benadryl or anything because you guys wouldn't see me till tomorrow. But anyways, let's see who's on here for the first time. Anyone?
No, maybe. Or it's been a while since he's been on.
Yeah. Well, let's just kind of reintroduce everybody again, because one of the biggest things Jean and I have been talking about are relationships. And with so many new things going on at eXp right now, our relationships are some of the most important things that we got. So I think we need to leverage each other here. We keep showing up every single week. And I don't even know if we know where everybody is. So, Tucker, I'm going to start with you, but literally where you are, what city and state? Bing, bang, boom.
Tucker Overstreet, Dallas, Texas.
Fabulous. Who wants to go next? Let's have somebody jump in.
My name is Noe DeLeon. I'm also from Dallas, Texas.
Great. Welcome, welcome. Go ahead.
Stacy Bray from Lakeway, Texas, and about ready to be in Dallas, Texas.
Cool. Love it.
Bill
Gary.
Lowry from Akron, Ohio.
Oh, Bill. Hi. Akron, Ohio. Fabulous. Where else?
I'm Stacy Schwitty. I am in Louisiana, and I'm about ready to head to Dallas.
Woo! I can't wait to see all you guys. This is exciting.
Yay, Stacy. See you later.
Yes.
Gary.
Gary and Gina Semenek up in sunny, well, not so sunny today, Orillia, Ontario. We are known as the Sunshine City in Ontario. So we are in Canada, and we won't be at Build this year.
We'll catch you on another one of those. So, Janet, you are in a beautiful island that's not in the Caribbean.
No, I'm on the magical island of Martha's Vineyard. Today we're having a gloomy day, but it'll sunshine later.
Just tell people where Martha's Vineyard is. You are off the coast of?
So Martha's Vineyard is an island, and we're off of the coast of Cape Cod. You probably have heard of the other island, Nantucket. So both Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard are right off the coast of Cape Cod.
And what state are you part of?
Mass. Sorry,
Mass.
I've got something making noises over here.
Okay.
I'm in the state of Mass, so right outside Boston.
Wonderful. Who else did not introduce themselves? Good morning.
Good morning. She doesn't want to say my name because poor thing.
Okay,
He's
Samia.
struggled.
Did I get it right?
What'd you
Samia.
say?
I said
Samia.
Samia.
Samia Morgan. And it's just, the sun is just rising in beautiful Northern California, just south of San Francisco.
I get so nervous. I know how to say it.
I know.
That to me.
I can see it on your face.
I like flip. Yeah. So it's Samia.
I gave her a complex about it for you.
Samia, put a Y instead of an I,
Sam.
it'll be fine.
Samia, yes, Ashley, you did give me a complex. I like get all hot and sweaty and clammy here. Okay, Evelyn.
Ashley.
Evelyn,
Hello.
tell everybody who you are.
Evelyn McDonald with New American Funding. I'm a loan officer licensed in every single state, and I am based in Southern California, right next to Peggy. Actually live in San Clemente.
When I'm in California, and I love the fact that for 2 years, guys, she has consistently been showing up. You want to talk to a mortgage person that cares about you and gets up at 5:30 in the morning to be on this call every week. She doesn't promote herself enough. Love it. Brad, where are you? Let's see if he's on. Good morning.
I'm in my backyard.
Okay. And where is your backyard? I know you jumped on late, but tell everybody where you are.
I am in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, love it. Okay, so there have been some problems jumping on with the Zoom, with the links. Some people can get in, some people can't. I'm getting some text messages here, but we are going to just keep on going. Okay, it says that the Zoom Peggy is working. Funny, I couldn't get in. So, gosh, there's lots going on. Who knows what's going on at eXp? How many are keeping up with the things that are going on?
I understand that our fearless growth leader is no longer here, Michael Valdez.
Oh, you're right. Michael did take an opportunity somewhere else.
Right.
And think of that, guys. Opportunities are everywhere, and we wish Michael the best. He did a lot for the company, and I think that, you know, just like when we're talking to people to come to us, sometimes you get an opportunity and you have to take advantage of it. So, like I said, we're very grateful for everything that Michael did. I totally forgot about that, Tucker, but that really wasn't, that's one of the things going on at eXp. Who else knows what's going on at eXp? Really good stuff that's going to affect you guys in a big way. Well, since hello.
Sorry, I'm driving, so I had to figure out how to unmute. And I'm just now getting in the call, so I don't know what's been said already. But you're asking about something exciting going on at eXp that could affect everybody?
I am, and do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Yes, I am Linda Anello. I am in Dayton, Ohio. I serve Dayton and Cincinnati, Ohio. And I've been with eXp since I got my license 2.5 years ago.
Welcome, and thank you for jumping on with Wake Up Wednesday. So yes, we're sharing great things that are going on with eXp. What have you got to share?
I don't know if it's been mentioned, but our Revenos division has a lot of really great lead generation platforms. And one of them that's newer is called Bundle Select. Are you familiar with it?
I am not totally familiar with it. And if you know about it, this is what we're doing, is sharing today.
So it's it's another way to market yourself. Instead of just to consumers, you can go out to businesses if you have connections with business owners, or it can even be your, you know, membership based organizations like a gym or a church or whatever. But you can offer them Bundle Select, which is a real estate concierge platform that will give their members and or employees 20% off or better on any of their real estate transactions. And it's bundling Success Lending, which is owned by eXp, and eXp Realtors. And then there are other aspects of the bundle. But the consumer gets 20% of the realtor commission, and they get 100 basis points, which is about $1,000 for every 100,000 financed from Success Lending. But it's a great lead generation.
That's awesome.
That's great. You know, I did recall hearing about that, and sometimes there's so much coming at me, I just forget. It's a terrible thing to say, but I'm taking good notes on this. Have you used it? Do you have any experience
Yes,
with it?
I am. Yes, I've had. So what happens is it's across the United States. So even if you generate an account and somebody in another state closes the deal through this, you still get a portion of that commission. So I have one closed deal in Tennessee, and then I have, I'm trying to think, I have two closed and two pending, no, three pending in Ohio of my own right now. And I just started this a few months ago. So
Linda,
it's
how does
definitely
that
paid.
work?
Linda has been rocking it. I've been part of Bundle Select for maybe 6 months. And the one thing that you need to know is you need to go to take a course and be certified. And they will tell you exactly how it works.
Mhm.
The team is amazing. And we have masterminds every other week. And it's, you're asking how it works.
Where does the money come from?
So
Comes
there's
from
a
the
referral.
agent.
Yeah.
And it comes from the lender. So you're giving up, instead of paying a referral fee to another agent, you're giving up 25% of your commission, and 20 of it goes to the consumer directly instead of to another agent. 5% goes to eXp. But yep, definitely look for Bundle Select and
In workplace.
Workstation, webinars and learn more about it.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks for sharing that. I should have done that a while ago.
That's great. I
The
love
thing
when
is, when Lynn was saying she got something in Tennessee, so then the referral fee is the cut from the commission is 30%. She gets 5 because she's not the agent doing the business. And then the company gets 20 and revenues gets 5. So you still benefit if you bring in companies from across the United States, not in your neighborhood.
so
But
how did
it's based on your sphere. So they don't want you to cold call. They
Okay.
want you to use your sphere to get the relationship and build it. Right, Lynn?
Sorry, yep, that's true. So you have to register a company that you want to solicit to make sure no other eXp agent has already started soliciting them.
Yeah.
You have to get approved to solicit them because they don't want multiple agents soliciting the same company. But as an example, some major companies have signed on. So we have Salesforce, Adobe, we have Progressive Insurance, we have the University of Indiana, Bloomington. A lot of big companies
Yeah,
have signed
Visa.
on.
We have Visa also.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great relationships. Thank you. Who else knows what's happening today?
Please share.
Okay. When was the last time you guys logged on to my eXp?
Yesterday.
Yesterday. Okay. Do you use it?
Yes,
Yeah.
and I signed on last night and went, oh my gosh,
Okay,
what an
Stacy.
amazing change.
That was one of the reasons why when I couldn't sleep last night, that I wasn't trying to fall asleep when I was doing that. I was just going through it. Wow, this is incredible. So Stacy, what did you see from it?
It's easier on the eyes, number one. It's easy to find things. There's a whole lot of extra links in there
Gina.
that are helpful links. Documents, talks about your mentees if you have any, talks about your downline, where they are percentage wise. That was all there before, but it's just easier.
So much easier.
The only flaw is that it's only updated once a month. And I think it's at the end of the month.
That could well be, like a lot of reports are. You know, some of them are not in absolute real time. However, it's a tool. So when I was at my other company, we didn't have any of these things. I found people last night that I need to reconnect with. I went back and, I started with this company 5 or 6 years ago, and in the beginning, people leave, right? It happens. So we had a lot going on, and I went back and I looked up everybody who left in the first couple of years. Well, I'm finding that people are coming back to eXp. Are you guys finding that? I see it all the time. So on my things to do, I'm going to reach out to some of those agents who left in the beginning and see how they're doing. And it was so easy to see when they started, when they left. You can see obviously all your sponsors. I was able to do everything on my phone. And I know that that's what eXp is all about, is making our lives easier as agents, because there is so much out there. Has anybody else been on my? Go ahead,
Well, wait a
Stacey.
minute. Yeah, did you know that you can send your downline a card or a gift directly from the app?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, go
Where,
dig into
where
that
is
one.
that, Stacy?
This is why
Oh
we're
man.
on today.
Okay, so I was on it, but don't ask me exactly where it is. I stumbled into it. I was just checking everything out last night. So, just go in there and play with the rev share side of it, and you'll find it. It's there. And I think the rev share gets updated as soon as monies come in. I think they do a
Yes.
24-hour cycle on that. So at least that will be updated. I don't know about reports otherwise, but your rev share will be updated.
Rev share, that's a great, I go back to my former life as a team leader. It was always Christmas, is the way I looked at it. I looked at it that I was either going to get a bunch of stuff from Santa or I was going to get coal, because you had no idea what you were going to get in profit share. And the fact that those numbers differ depending upon what the owners of the office wanted to do, here it is real time. Absolutely love the fact that you can go in and you can see what your last pay was, what your anticipated month is going to be. And that is absolutely in real time. So these are great tools to talk about, especially if you're talking to someone from another company. And lately, it's been Christmas all the time with this. Hi, Dee Dee. Good morning.
Well,
Good morning.
they didn't
morning.
update my team.
They didn't update your team yet?
No, they still have my old team in there. They don't have my new team, and they say I have no documents. I'm not going to go and fix it till I need to, but it's
Yeah.
great to have the app. I mean,
It is great to have
when you
the
were at KW, when did you leave, Peggy?
5 years ago.
Okay. I mean, I used to know exactly where my tree was. I used to be able to go in and see it. There was no app. You just had to go in.
Right.
And now when I go in, I don't see that you could do that anymore and see how many people are in your downline. But it's okay. I did call it Christmas because you didn't know, but it was Christmas 12 months a year. And now the Christmas gifts have gone down, 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 down.
They have gone down, down, down.
But they're still there.
So that is one of the greatest things about eXp. And I don't know how many got rev share on here, but if you did this past month, did you get a bonus? I called Ashley
Yes.
thinking
They
that
took
money would
money out
take
of
it.
mine.
All right, so
I need to call and find out why.
okay, so Tucker, follow me on this. I actually called Ashley saying, what the heck happened? Did somebody come in and take money out of mine? So it's the way it was set up, but I got an actual bonus. So Ashley, you want to jump in on that one? Oops, you're muted.
Yeah, we've always gotten a bonus. It's just now it's different and probably more than it was before. So, but it's always been there.
But it wasn't, I didn't see it listed as a
Right,
bonus.
that's what I'm saying. It was always there. It just wasn't highlighted and separated out. So, but it was always there. But now they're showing you exactly what the bonus amount is.
And now that they've opened it up, Gary, you got almost 10,000 this month.
Yeah, obviously with the rev share rebuild that they've done, that up the ante, and the way we position things, and also, like Brent has, or sorry, like Gene has his Brent, we have our Brent as well in our line that is really aggressively building. So it's paying off in spades.
But it is nice to see it. And there's some other benefits too on that you can choose some different payouts on it. So let's talk about what else is new. Anything? Ashley, when we were talking a couple of weeks ago, we went over the new revenue share, the 2.0 version. And I know some people had some questions on it. So can you just quickly give the Reader's Digest version again about that? Because you did such a great job on it. How all the
You're
new
killing
levels-
me today, man. You're making my brain hurt.
Sorry, you're tired. I'm going to see you in Dallas tomorrow, though. I'll make it up to you.
So RevShare 2.0 is, they have technically cut the RevShare total potential that you receive, but they've also increased it in other ways. So the percentages have changed a little bit on each level of what you're getting, but they also lowered the requirements for you to unlock each level. So now levels 1, 2, and 3 are permanently unlocked for everyone immediately. So you don't have to have any qualifying agents whatsoever to get paid in levels, to get paid the max percentage in levels 1, 2, and 3. And then at level 4, you have to have 5 qualified agents, and level 5 is 10, and level 6 is 15. And then you have the jump to 30 qualified agents to unlock level 7. So it's a lot easier now. And that's why everybody's seeing these large bumps for the most part, and especially in the smaller groups. And the other thing, I don't know that this has been made clear to a lot of people or talked about, but the alphas are the ones that voted to make this change. And they actually took a 20 to 30% cut and took they're losing money so that you guys could get more. And so that you guys could have more motivation, more skin in the game, and get fired up again and start building and growing more quickly, so that, they all benefit in the long run too, because retention and all of those things were starting to hit everybody. And so, yeah, the reason y'all are getting more from levels 1, 2, and 3 is because they took a pay cut from level 7, so that it could be redistributed. So I think that's important to know that the leaders in the company did that to give back to the majority of everybody else.
So
but those are the big.
Those are huge. And again, it's our leadership. It's people who have been with this company, who've grown tremendous downlines, giving back. Where else do you hear of that? Where do you hear that people want to be able to give back to you to help you grow and build your wealth and your legacy?
Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
Brian asked a question. Yeah, Brian asked a question in the chat. He said, "Is a qualified agent an icon agent?" No, a qualified agent is someone who named you as a sponsor. They're in your front line directly, and they have produced $5,000 in GCI in the last 6 months. So it's a rolling 6-month calendar, and they have to have produced $5,000 in GCI gross commissions in order to be qualified. So you may have 20 people in your front line that have named you as a sponsor, but only 12 of them are qualified currently. And so that's going to change constantly based on production. And so what I see a lot is, or what's happened in the maturity of the organizations is that, 5 years in, you have to go replace some frontline agents because you've created so much wealth for them in their rev share organization that they're not producing near as much as they used to be. So now you need to go find someone else who's, producing, because at the end of the day, that's the beauty of rev share. There is no rev share without production. Period. It's because it's based on GCI.
By the way, my eXp literally changed overnight. So it's much more robust today.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Tucker. Completely changed overnight. So, Oh, I know who that is now. Okay. So there was a question there and about the 5,000. It's 5,000 in GCI.
It's GCI. It's not company dollar. That would be a lot more to produce. That's okay, Brian.
Is that
so
who I
yeah,
think it is? If it is, send me a text. Anyways, so one of the other things that I just lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you're at the lake. Yes, it is. Okay, welcome. I'm glad you're here visiting us. I'll let Jean and Susan know you were on. Brian is a friend from way back, years, with another company, and I always invite him to come. So you never know when someone's going to show up. And that was one of the other things that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Right now, we're at a volatile spot with every agent. They don't know what they're doing. They've got questions. Their business is down, all of that. We have a responsibility. And I'm going to hold my hand up here because I saw something last night on my rev thing that I didn't know about. So when are you calling? How often are you checking with everybody in your organization? That's huge, guys. We could lose people. And if you see a person, especially I had an interesting thing maybe a month ago, I found out 5 levels or 6 levels down, that person's sponsor left. I didn't know they left. I'll die on my sword with that. However, are you looking at your whole organization? Are you touching people 5, 6 levels down? If you got to the 7th level, are you calling people? Are you letting them know they're there? Are you inviting them to events? We've got events going on all over the country right now. And if you are in the Dallas area, I would make it a point, thanks. I would make it a point to do whatever you can to get to this build in Dallas this week. It is huge and they are popping up. I mean, if you're on the West Coast, they're in Anaheim. I know that Nolly and his wife texted me this morning because they're trying to get out of Puerto Rico. They're on their way to one in Detroit. You have people, that's okay, Lynn. Thanks for coming in, Linda. We have people from flying all over to get to these events. What are you doing to get to an event? Are you bringing guests to those events? I talked about a local event that I went to last week, and I brought a friend and a former KW person with me, and she's definitely in conversation right now. She honestly left KW to start her own brokerage, which she did. And now she's looking at all the other things that we have. So, I know you guys are starting masterminds, you're going to different networking events, but seriously, the most important thing that we can all do right now is today, get on our app and look at the people in our organization. I don't like using the word downline. I like using the word organization. Are you reaching out to those people? Are you loving on them? Are you letting them know that you care? So that was kind of what I have going on today. I was hoping we were going to have a surprise guest. I don't think that's going to happen. Unfortunately, something else came up. But when I'm at someone's home, I love to see, oh, you're going to be in Build in Anaheim. Great. I love to see what's on their bookshelves, even when I'm watching all the TV news and stuff like that. And, with all the political stuff going on, a lot of people are jumping on these TV shows from home. And I really love to zoom in and see what's on their bookshelves. And I think sometimes they really stage them. So Gene's not here. And on his dining room table, there's a book called, I don't know if you can see it, The Dip. He said he started reading this years and years and years ago. So I was kind of peeking through, because if you know Gene, guys, he highlights and takes notes. You can't really see it. He highlights and takes notes on everything. So I opened up the back of the book yesterday and, okay. 2 good choices: quit or be exceptional. Average is for losers. The temptation to be average is just another kind of quitting. The kind to be avoided. You deserve better than average. Stacy, was that a yes to what I just read? I'm going to read it again. Okay, two good choices. Quit or be exceptional. Average is for losers. The temptation to be average is just another kind of quitting, the kind to be avoided. You deserve better than average.
Is that the dip?
It's the dip. Yeah. Yeah. So this was on the table here. And so when he reads a book, he goes through, he highlights everything. And let's see, it just is, it's crazy. So some people would think average was okay, right? Some people walk around saying, okay, I'm okay, I'm average, I'm better than a loser, I'm better than a quitter. I never really looked at average as being a quitter, but now that I'm doing it, is no. How many of you guys, I don't think anybody on this call thinks they're average. 7 reasons you might fail to become the best in the world. You run out of time and you quit. You run out of money and you quit. You get scared and you quit. You're not serious about it and you quit. You lose interest or enthusiasm or settle for being mediocre and quit. You focus on short term instead of long term, and you quit when short term gets too hard. You pick the wrong thing at which to be the best at in the world because you don't have talent. So love to see what people are reading. Comments on this? How many have read this book? Anybody? It's a really short read. It is, let me see here, 80 pages. So don't you think I'm going to read this over the next couple of days that I'm here? This is sitting on Jean's table and it's a 60-page read. I think this is something we all could pick up and read. So it's that. Great book, Outliers. How many of you familiar with that? Gary, you're shaking your head over there. Tucker, Gary, talk to me about Outliers in a little snippet.
Okay, you're gonna catch me on that one. It's been probably 4 years since I read it, so it's got a lot of dust in on
That's
it.
okay.
You know, the best I can say about it is it speaks to somebody like me because I am an outlier, right? I'm typically a black sheep type of person. At least that's the way I'm viewed more often than not. I don't know if that's good or bad. So, you know, I think the originality of an outlier is, I can't really speak to the book because I forget a lot of it. I just know I pull it, I really related and spoke to me on a lot of different levels. But I can't go deeper than that. And so you're going to cause me to do a reread so I can do something more purposeful with my commentary.
So it's a really great book. He's also written, Malcolm Gladwell's also written The Tipping Point and Blink.
Yeah, I've read The Tipping Point too. That is a really good book.
And that's,
Blake
you know,
was his first, and he is one of the best authors out there.
I would have to agree. I read Outliers quite a while ago, and I'm definitely an outlier. So if you don't know what Outliers is, please go read it, get it on Audible. I do so much on Audible. And then I'm not sure. Oh, John Wooden and Steve Jamison. The essential words, a lifetime of lessons in leadership. This one looks like it's a really old book, but Gene keeps referring to things all the time. He keeps reading. He reads constantly. And I think that's what makes us better leaders, because we're all leaders on this call. Are we all going in to get more knowledge? You know, one of my favorite books that I quote all the time is Good to Great. If you have not read that book, I would definitely read that book. And then the last book on the table, I suppose if you're an author and you've written a book, you're going to have your own book on the table, right? How's this? 101 Ways to Lead Generate in Real Estate. So anybody else reading some good books? Because we're all about sharing here.
I just want to say something about Good to Great. We were listening to that book driving from LA to San Francisco with the kids in the back, and thought they were watching their movies or whatever. And the basic line is getting the right people on the bus and in the right seats. And as soon as we got home, the kids said, get the right people on the bus and in the right seats. And I just started cracking up. And I'm like, hopefully that sticks in their head and they keep that with them. But it's such an amazing book. And if you get nothing out of it, it's not important just to have the right people on your team, but to have them in the right position in your team, because that makes a huge, huge difference. And the takeaway from that is so cool.
That is one of my favorite all-time books. And I can't even tell you how long ago I read that one. But yes, when you're putting together a team, when you're putting together your organization, even, you know, let's drill it down to buyers and sellers. Are you working with the right buyers?
Yeah.
Are you working with the right sellers? Are you able to communicate with them? Just because you got a bunch of sellers on your bus doesn't mean that they're all going to, you know, that bus is all going to get to closing. You know, are they the right people in your life to work with? Love it. Anybody else got some comments on some books or anything else?
Peggy, I'll share. I know you started the conversation really about relationships.
Yes.
And doing that. I think the one book that for us being in the service industry that we should get and read and be a part of the community is Unreasonable Hospitality. Okay.
Somebody else just told me that the other day.
It's Will Guidara. And I have to tell you, it's, even though it's talking about how the one restaurant became the best restaurant in the world, it really talked about experiences. And that's something that's really important to me in terms of how I serve my clients and creating that experience for them to be so memorable that they'll be able to share it with other people. But I would encourage you to get it, read it. Will Guidara has a community called Pre-Mail. It's a newsletter that goes out. I would definitely follow him on Instagram.
Can you say this again?
It's Will Guidara.
Oh, okay.
And the Instagram, he has it. So there's just so many teachable moments. Just following him on Instagram, it just talks about so many different experiences on how to make a memorable impact. And that's something that's really important for me going to the second half of the year is, you know, how to make those experiences memorable for our clients, either it be through the way that we show property or how do we provide the best closing experience for them. So
thank you.
So I'm gonna
share that with everybody.
I want to piggyback on that. Has anybody watched The Bear? The show called The
My
Bear,
kids are watching it.
specifically season 3.
Oh yeah, he was on it.
Is that about the chef?
I was gonna say no, it's not. Yeah, it's about the chef.
Yeah, it's about the chef. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. In season 3, that's kind of, he's opening his own restaurant. He's redoing his family's restaurant. And he's bringing his experiences from all these other places that he's worked, specifically this one restaurant that is ridiculously focused on hospitality. And it's really cool to see how they create the experiences for their guests and do things that no other restaurant would do, that they're always going to remember, and they go out of their way to go over the top to take care of their people. And so anyway, it literally has more Emmy nominees than any other show this year. It's like 28 nominations or something. So the show's phenomenal in general, but season 3, there's a lot. Like, he sends his cousin to a restaurant that he worked at that does all the experiences to learn, so that they can provide that same hospitality in the new restaurant that they're building. And so it's really cool to see how, and I've said this for years, I preach to people about brokerages, is that brokerages are not in the real estate transactional business. They are in the customer service business. And so, Peggy, you kind of touched on this, calling it an organization and being a relationship and knowing who your people are in your downline or whatever. You are a customer service rep. Like, if you want them to stay and you want your retention to be good, you have to provide customer service. So, Stacy, sending that card is a big deal, right? Because all of your people, they just want to be patted on the back. They want to be recognized. I think that's harder to do for us because we're not in the office. And so we don't do the physical, awards or certificates or, things like that. So we have to work even harder to compensate for that, to create those experiences and to deepen those relationships, because it's not as easy if you don't have the brick and mortar. But there are more opportunities to do it for free and to just make it part of your routine. Gary.
Yeah.
Really good stuff this morning. You come in with informalities and just show up and look at what happens, right? So point I want to make, though, I think is your name Noe?
Yes.
Yeah. You brought up about the being average, and also about the unreasonable hospitality. So we actually had a lot of changes in our lives this year, and we even ended our team. We just did a lot, right? We've been building out a lot of change in our lives, and we actually just took on a coaching company to be coached ourselves. And what I really like that they're doing with us is to show us to not be average, right? To really dial in on our niche, and not in a broad way, right? The minute you identify a niche, they deep dive you in it. For us, we determined it was empty nesters or downsizers. And what I found really unique about what we're doing, because we're just really in the beginning stages of it and re-identifying our brand. But the point is, they had us do a few things that I think were really impactful, and I would ask anybody to do the same thing. And I can send these questions in the chat. Email your people, right? Pick 5 to 10 people that know you and ask them these 3 questions and see the reflection you got, right? Which allowed us to, you kind of assume how people see you, but you never really know. And it wasn't anything gut-wrenching. It was just your positivity points, your weaknesses, and how you show up in the world, in their world. And so we got pretty consistent answers, which was really good and a great opportunity to see how we're observed. And then the other thing is, in going down the niche, we had to interview past clients that were really suited to that niche. And that really gave us some great insights into our people. Like, we really learned pretty quickly the majority of our clients are more on the introverted side of life, right? So, they really pointed that out to us, and that, what they loved about us was that we took the time to listen. It wasn't high pressure. We got them everything they wanted, right? To be able to retire or otherwise be in control of their lives. So, those are just 2 exercises. We've got a bunch more to go yet, but the point I'm making is, whether you're reading a book or spending money on coaching, just do whatever you can within the realm of, what you can afford, and, take away from it, right? This is the thing, like the coaching, What I do like about this coaching is it's very tangible. They're making you, if you want to be different, you got to dig in, and we're digging in, and it's not easy. It's not fun. It's very time consuming, but you know, I also look at it, this market is no longer what it was, right? It is changing drastically globally, and we need to be prepared for that, right? A new market is going to emerge. There's no doubt about it.
Gary, will you post those 3 questions?
Sure, I'll go dig them up, and if I can get that done right away, I will before before this is over. Otherwise, I'll put it up in the chat in the Wake Up Wednesday.
Okay.
One thing
Yeah,
I just saw too in the new My eXp that they launched today or late last night, they added a link where you can go take your disc test again, and it'll share it with your upline. And so I think that's one of the things that you can do to be above average is to
Wow.
know, is to
I
know,
didn't see
know
that.
yourself. Yeah, it's on the homepage actually. It's right on the homepage now. And so I know they've partnered with Abelson, I believe, because we met him at
Last year.
eXpCon last year. Yeah. But it looks like they're offering them for free. And that's one of the ways that you can get to know your downline is ask them to go do their disc test and know who they are and know, you know, what their needs are and what their communication style is, because you're not going to do near as much to be above average to do the same thing for everyone. That's not creating an experience for them. But to do what they need specifically is going to, you know, get you much further faster.
Actually, it's also another excuse to teach them how to use my eXp.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
Definitely. We've got some great speakers coming on, guys. Next week we have an AI person. It was supposed to be this week. It got rescheduled for next week. Then I've got Holly Mayberry coming back to talk to us. There are some new listing forms that were updated. And in August, on August 21st, you really want to mark your calendars because I think this is a huge deal. Our new CEO, Leo, is going to be our guest on Wake Up Wednesday. So this group just keeps getting better. Everybody here contributes. It's really becoming known in our eXp world. I'm going to put it out to the universe that my goal is to have many of us as we can, or you know, whoever can get to an event. And I'm going to say this, within the next year, we're going to be on stage. We're going to be on stage talking about Wake Up Wednesday and the community that we have and how this has changed lives. Because for many of you who have come to the retreats, or Gary and I met in the elevator, it's not just about rev share. It's about what we can do with community and how we lift each other up every single week. I'm in the process of getting all of our Wake Up Wednesdays cataloged, and then they're going to be uploaded to a YouTube channel. And I'm talking to Nicole and Jean. Jean and I talked about this last night. We're going to have them up on Jean's site, so you can just go and click on them as well. Every single one of you brings something to the table here. And I want everyone to understand how much you are valued and how much we all love everybody's opinion here, that you contribute. Because like Gary said, you just show up sometimes, you got a little small topic. I was pivoting when I found out we needed to reschedule the AI person, and you guys have so much to contribute. And if you have a specialty, I invite you to teach. I mean, Gary has taught his business planning. Ashley teaches. You know, you got talents there, guys. We want to hear about it. One other book that I want to share with you, is, what was it? It's 25 years ago. The Keys to the Magic Kingdom. I don't even know if you can still get that, but it is amazing on how Disney operates their organization. And when I tell you that that book, The Dip, is a thin book, it's a really thin read, but it is totally about customer service and how we treat others outside of our community now, outside of our eXp family, and how we start to treat co-brokes and show up. You want to help them because you want to make sure that when they're on the other side of the transaction, or you need to refer to somebody, they've got your back and they're going to fight for what is due for you as an agent. Gary.
Yeah, so there's another author too, Disney related. His name's Lee Cockerell. I just can't remember the books he wrote. He's written 4 books. He headed up Disney hospitality for a number of years, specifically the restaurants and hotels. So, you know, big player. He retired in the last few years. He actually lives in Orlando. I got to go have coffee with him when we were down there. So it was pretty unique to go and sit with him and get access. He's a very approachable person, but Lee Cockerell, he's got at least 4 books that he's penned around his experience within Marriott and Disney. So really good reads. They're not long reads, but go look them up. Lee Cockerell.
And think about the information that you've got here, guys. Even if you haven't talked, because sometimes our downline, our organization, it's kind of like our past clients, right? We haven't talked to them in a while. We're afraid to call them. We don't know what we're going to have to be able to say. You have so much information. There's no reason why you can't pick up the phone and say, hey, it's been a while, or they may not even know who you are. If I go down to my 5th level, there may be people there that, you know, they really don't know who I am. Perfect time to introduce yourself. Invite them to Wake Up Wednesdays. Tell them about the new eXp. I would get a little bit more familiar with it before you go talking about it, and share some of the books, because your customer service starts right in your backyard. What, Gary?
Oh, sorry, I should have muted. I'm talking to Gina. Sorry about that.
Hi, Gina.
She says
So,
hello.
We got about 6 minutes here. Who else wants to share something? Who's had some really great customer service? Brad, I see you got your hand up. How are you? Love the haircut, Brad.
Yeah, thanks. Low maintenance. So I've had a kind of a common theme. Like I read quite a bit as well, and I reread a lot of the books that I've had in the past, and I'm rereading, and I often pick up Think and Grow Rich and go back and forth with that one. I've read a few other ones. Your Invisible Power by Genevieve Beran, Communion with God by Niels Arnold Walsh. And the reason I bring these up is because they all have a very similar, at least that I found, a similar theme about knowing exactly what you want. Like being crystal clear on what our goals are, or what my goal is. And then as it says in Think and Grow Rich, like having a burning desire for that goal. And I know that I haven't had a burning desire. Like I think I know what I want in the past, but being really, really specific and clear on what it is that I'm trying to accomplish, and like having that top of mind all day, every day. And then also thinking from that place, right? Like it's not just how do I get there? It's like, okay, now that I'm living that, now that I've accomplished those, what does my life look like? What am I doing? Who am I talking to? What am I wearing? Where am I? Those kinds of things. And it's interesting how that theme keeps popping up in stuff that I'm reading or people that I'm talking to, just being crystal clear on where I'm going, and why, of course, and why I want to be there. So I just wanted to share that. That's
you're now crystal clear on? Because when you say it, it happens. Do you want to share any of that? So you're declaring it? Come on, no, I'm going to ask you that.
Yeah, I want to have $100,000 cash by the end of the year.
By the end of this year?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So thank you. So as I was drifting off to sleep last night, I was thinking, okay, I started getting into the hows. And it wasn't like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? And I was like, well, that's about 25 transactions. I kind of did the math, and well, I got 5 months. So that's only 5 per month. I mean, that's a stretch for me. But it's not impossible. Like, that's anyway. So that helped to, it helped.
That's great. And thank you for sharing and being vulnerable, because you always are on these calls.
Yeah.
And I love it, because so many of us are afraid to say those things out loud. I sat down with Jean yesterday, the day before, and we went over my goals. And I think I told Ashley that, or somebody, maybe his CEO, Kathy Gordon, I have to have a weekly accountability call now with Jean.
Yeah, I like it. That's awesome.
Okay, on a side note, Kathy and I are like, okay, who's gonna hold Jean accountable to stay those calls? Because Jean and I go off and stuff. You guys, I don't care that I'm staying in this house. I'm gonna tell you, that scares me. That scares the Jesus out of me, is I have to have that weekly call. And to see her with my goals, I walked into this lake house last week with my goals written down. And don't you think I did it while I was on the plane? I kind of, tightened things up a little bit, because I can't be talking about this if I'm not authentic in doing it. Right, guys? So we always have to talk about goals. So Brad, thank you. And what can we do to help you make that $100,000? We're going to hold your feet to the fire. You're going to be accountable to our group.
I need to do more. I need to do more posting on social media. That's probably the biggest. And just being comfortable with, like, sharing my ideas. And I don't know what the block is or what the holdback is, but it's there. So I don't know, help me to post every day. Whether I'm sitting in my backyard, I don't know, doing whatever, but whatever. I gotta share what I'm doing with the people around me so that they know too, and that if they know somebody that I can help, they can meet.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Love it. Brad, you shared all the questions.
Sorry?
I mean, Gary, I'm sorry, Gary, you shared the questions?
Yes, they're in the chat.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, well, it's the top of the hour almost. Anybody else got something real quick? Dee Dee, you're quiet today.
I was a little late and I wanted to give everybody else that was here early the chance first before butting in, but I have this one.
You got okay, beautiful.
I just keep it on my desk because I read it often just to remind myself, because I need to constantly be reminded, and I love everything that it says in here. And I also wanted to add that, checking on your downline and so forth. Agents are active trying to agent attract. And I just got my first. I went to an open house, and an agent is trying to take me away from eXp. So just letting you know, other agents are really from other brokerages are being active.
So,
And
okay.
I didn't go.
What, because we're right at the top of the hour. What agency is local or a national brand?
It's KW.
Oh my God. I can help you with that, because you're going to reverse that and try and recruit them.
Oh, cool. All right. So I'll share it with you, Peggy.
Yeah, because what I would do is I used to always go meet them for coffee. And then
that's what she wants to do.
That's what I do. And then I have my list of things, and I would already know how I'm going to overcome their objections.
Okay.
So, well, that's great. Let me ask you about this. That's great. So the next couple of days, I'm working the build event. If we can get on a call, great. But if not, let's try and talk over the weekend or whatever. I would love that. And maybe we'll have a call on that, overcoming objections, and just how I would do that. So
I would love that, because I want to reply to her, but I don't want to be rude or anything. So she was very nice, but that's where we stand. We have to check on each other.
WUW. Interesting. So yeah, we're getting ready to head out to Dallas. If I can, send her a text and say, would love to catch up with you next week. I'll get, let's figure out a time. And that buys us a little bit of time. Okay? Perfect, guys. You guys are the best. I look forward to seeing some of you in Dallas at Build. If you're not going to Build here, get to an event, get to something close to you, and bring somebody with you, the most important thing. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
I'll see you next week. I'll be in Florida. Bye.